So what's the best way to diet? Is it to follow a meal plan or a flexible dieting approach? I think a good way of answering that is just to look at the pros and cons of both. So first of all, the pros of following a meal plan is that it's all structured, it's laid out in front of you. You don't have to think, so it can be less stressful. They also tend to be healthy, so they've got a good amount of fruit, veg and good fat in there. And they also help create a lot of consistency. So especially if you're doing a bodybuilding prep and you're weighing yourself every morning, you'll notice that your weights fluctuate for lots of different reasons, which is normal. But by eating the same thing every day, you can limit that. The benefits of flexible dieting is that there's no restrictions. You can eat what you want. And especially for anyone that's new to dieting, it teaches you a lot about food and a lot about diets. And it teaches you mostly that there's no good and bad foods, only good and bad diets. So a lot of people are scared to eat things like sugar, chocolate, and they'll think that things like broccoli are magic, which is not the case. And especially if you're following a meal plan and you're restricted to just a certain amount of foods, and then all of a sudden you lapse and you have a bit of chocolate, that could lead out to a all-out binge. Whereas with a flexible dieting approach, you'll know that you can still implement that. You just got to chop and change something from elsewhere. Another benefit of flexible dieting is that it doesn't require any preparation. So again, if you're following that meal plan and you forget to prep your meals, with good knowledge of flexible dieting, you can still adhere to your diet, stick to your diet and hit your numbers. So a lot of people use the app called MyFitnessPal, which is a food diary, which takes all the hard work out of the equation. It adds up all your protein, fat and carbs for you. You can just type your food in there and you can even scan things as well. So if you forgot to prep your meals, you can just go to Tesco, scan a sandwich, scan a protein bar, scan a drink as well, and it'll add up all your protein, fat and carbs for you. And then when you get home, hopefully you've made some clever choices whilst you're out and about and you've got some macros left, and that's where you just fine tune that last meal to hit your macros. So I'd say that, the answer to the question, what's the best approach, a meal plan or flexible dieting, I'd say try and implement both. And any PT that's got a client, I think it's your job to really educate someone, because most people do want a meal plan at first. So it's a good idea to give them that meal plan, but also to teach them that you can change that. For that, you can change your potatoes for rice, you can change your chicken to turkey, you can change your Weetabix to Cocoa Pops. You've got to teach them that flexibility, which is time consuming, but the clients need to know that. It's frustrating when you talk to someone that's got a PT and I'm there eating my sweets whilst I'm prepping, doing a diet or my meringues, and they're like, oh, what are you eating that for? That'll make you fat. They're wrong, really. So, yeah, the answer to the question is implement both and create some kind of structured flexibility. So don't restrict yourself to a meal plan too much, and don't go all out with flexible dieting and fit as much junk food into your diet. And finally, if you are doing a bodybuilding prep, I'm all for flexible dieting, but I actually think a meal plan approach for a bodybuilding prep is actually the best way. Just because you're dieting for a long time, you don't want to have to think about what you're eating too much. But, if you're following that meal plan and you're experienced at dieting, if you really want something, you can have it. You just got to chop and change from elsewhere. And that's where knowledge of how to diet comes in.